Oh, that's why. As I was saying, good morning and welcome to the Isle of Nevis. My name is Kino. I'll be taking you to the beach.
Yay.
To get some, hopefully, sun, sea, and sand. While I'm driving, do you mind if I just give you a bit of history about our island?
Great.
We're doing some roadworks here on the island, so it's going to get a bit bumpy. Just bear with me while I maneuver through these bad spots. So welcome to the Isle of Nevis. It was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1493, even though there were Caribs and Arawaks already on the island. And then it was colonized by the British in 1624. We have 5 parishes similar to the states that you have in the United States. Everybody's from the States, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have St. James, St. George's, St. John's, St. Paul's, and St. Thomas's. Each parish has a primary school, health center, and a police station to serve and to protect. We have a population of 12,000 people, and the capital for Nevis is called Charlestown. Nevis is very rich in history with a lot of firsts. I guess by now you've done your research about Nevis and you think you know it all about Mr. Alexander Hamilton. Well, no, you don't. So I'm going to give you some more information as we go along while the sun is coming out before we reach the beach. We'll be there in about 5 to 10 minutes. Mr. Hamilton was born right here on the island of Nevis on January 11th, 1757. Now, legend has it that his mother was a white prostitute and his father was a black slave. So he's not a white man, he's called a mulatto. How many of you knew that? Let's get some hands up. Number 1. Now, to me, Mr. Hamilton is one of the most influential figures that have ever lived over the last 300 years that nobody talks about. Nobody cares. Well, I care, so I'm going to talk some more about him. Mr. Hamilton was one of the founders of the United States Constitution.
Yay.
The first U.S. Treasury Secretary, and he founded the banking systems, the stock exchange, the forex exchange, the buying and selling of gold, silver, oil, and all the currencies that your forefathers and fathers have traded over the generations that has enabled them to live the American dream. It has afforded many of them to live to become thousandaires and millionaires in some instances. Mr. Hamilton founded the United States Coast Guard. How many of you knew that? Let's get some hands up again.
Yes, sir. I know.
Okay, good. Oh, you've been paying attention.
Yeah.
Mr. Hamilton founded the New York Post. Let me see if you knew that one.
I didn't know that.
Mr. Hamilton was one of the best military generals of all time. How many of you knew that?
Under Washington.
Mr. Hamilton was one of the best lawyers in his time. How many of you knew that? Now, I had a guest from New York, a nice young lady like this wonderful lady who looked like Britney Spears, who's filming me, is doing. And she said to me, Kino, I want to go on the United States Supreme Court bench. I am a lawyer, so I have to study the documents of Mr. Hamilton. And all of the justices that either has been associate justices or chief justices had to study the works of Mr. Hamilton in order to go on the United States Supreme Court bench. That is how influential Mr. Hamilton was to the American landscape. But nobody talks about him. We have estates and estates of land named after him. We have hotels named after him here, banks named after him, stamps in his honor. You just had a play to learn about Mr. Hamilton. And of course, he's on your $10 currency note. How many of you knew that? Everybody's hands up now. Now looking here on your left, these are vegetables, but what are they? The government has mandated us here on Nevis, all of us, due to the high inflation, the Russian war in Ukraine, and the Chinese virus, which have killed many thousands and millions of people, to do what we call backyard gardening. Every time a container comes in from Miami or from Japan or China, the prices through the roof. So as a result of that, the government has mandated us to do what we call backyard gardening. If you look straight ahead, this is an example of a hotel that is named in honor right here, the Hamilton Beach Spa, in honor of you know who, Mr. Alexander Hamilton. If you look straight ahead, that is our Nevis Peak. It's 3,232 feet going up, and it will take 4 hours back and forth to each once you're assigned a climber. The last person or the oldest person to have climbed this mountain was a 68-year-old woman from New York who had dropped off to the peak, to the point to start to climb, and she made it up and back in a breeze, actually.
A breeze.
A breeze. And if she wanted to go back again, I said, oh, careful. As I said, each parish has a police station to serve and to protect. There are many questions that are normally asked by guests who normally come here. Do you have a hospital? Yes, we do. Do you have an airport? Yes, we do as well. So we're into the St. Thomas's Parish and we're working our way down to the Lime Beach Bar. And I could tell you the food here is very amazing. You could take my word for it that you're going to have a good time on the beach. Once the sun holds up, we've been getting some rainfalls recently, but it seems as if sun is coming out, you are going to have a great time. One of the other things I'm going to point out to you before we go along on our journey is that I'm going to point out in about 10 seconds our first church that was built in the entire Caribbean. It's called the St. Thomas's Anglican Church. We are approaching it as we speak. On the right, it's the first church that was built in the Caribbean in 1643, and we still have services up to today. However, what we've been doing recently, we've been filming movies actually. The latest being called Christmas in Paradise 2022, starring Elizabeth Hurley, Kelsey Grammer, and Billy Ray Cyrus. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Did you see me?
No.
I was an extra in that movie.
Oh.
I was right behind Kelsey Grammer in most of the shots. So look again.
What was
Look.
Nino, the star.
I was an extra. We did filming of movies on that hill, down by Sunshines. I remember that scene. I was right behind them. We've been filming I've done about 4 to 5 movies so far, just being an extra. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing, also being an extra. Now, before we reach our destination, I have to tell you about the first 5-star hotel that was built in the entire Caribbean. We are approaching Four Seasons territory. Four Seasons is a Canadian-based firm hotel that was built in 1991, and it's currently owned by Bill Gates. They employ 1,000 persons out of a population of 12,000 people. Now, we get nervous whenever a hurricane comes because they can be very destructive. But unfortunately, they've not been passing here recently. They've been going through Miami. So we are approaching Four Seasons territory as we speak. I used to work there back in the day from 2003 to 2010, and I met many stars walking through those doors. Oprah Winfrey, John Travolta, Coach Andy Reid is to name a few. So on your right, this is the entrance going down to Four Seasons Resort. And these are the golf courses going right up to the mountains. Any Jack Nicklaus on board? The guy with the red-band shades might be a Jack Nicklaus fan, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's some history, and we're about to reach shortly to the beach. So I gave you a little history, a little tour.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, did you know that there's groups of people in the States that believe that Alexander Hamilton was the very first president as well?
He should have been, but remember,
Well, I mean, what he held was a presidential. Before there was a president, he did hold the presidential spot. Alexander Hamilton did. So when they talk about Obama, they go, no, he wasn't the first African American president. It was Alexander Hamilton because of the slave.
Yeah. He did so much. I keep reading up on him, and he did so much. And most of his policies was in the 30s, actually, when he was in his 30s. So he must have had some good school training here on the island.
Right.
So we're going down to the beach. This is a recreational park given to us by the Chinese after they gave us all COVID. Now, before we reach to the beach, there's a nice Chinese bathroom that they built. Would anyone like to use the restroom?
What's a Chinese bathroom?
You'll see it if you go inside. Everybody's good?
No, you good?
Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Governor with the green cap behind you good?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're moving on down. So where we'll be located today is called a Lime Beach Bar. It's a great beach bar, and we're famous for our mountain rum punch. Look out for that name, the mountain rum punch. It's very good. On your left of the beach is a place called Sunshines. That is where the celebrities would normally go. On your left, you'll be right down here. So if you go left, you're at Sunshines. If you go right, you'll be hitting the Four Seasons Resort. It's a minute away either or. So you could either go left or right, you'll be hitting Four Seasons. You can't get lost down here. I'll be around. What's your pickup time? I didn't get a pickup time.
We get on the boat at 1:30.
1:30.
But we need to be there at 1:30.
I think when we went this way this morning, I was waiting for you this way, and then the boat came that way because of the rough seas going that way. So we came that way.
Yeah.
So 1:30. Let me take a head count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get 6 Brady Bunch on board, right? 6 Brady Bunch.
What time do you want us to meet you?
1:30.
Oh, we have to
we
be at the boat at 1:30.
Oh, well, pickup time would be about 1:15 or thereabout.
Okay.
Just takes about 15 minutes if you're going back to town.
Okay. Is that good? Is that safe?
Let me
Would
see if
one
it's
be
one,
better?
Yeah.
1 second, let me see.
You think
if
1
it-
o'clock
We're
would be
thinking
better?
1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1
Yeah.
o'clock would be better.
I could verify the time. Just let me see
Okay.
where you guys go. Just stand
Thank
still
you.
for a minute.
We're with
Yeah?
the Blue Water
Yeah.
Safari.
I'll take care of you.
Okay. I don't want to end up
Right here.
riding the wrong boat.
What's the
thing
pickup
and
time?
I'm taking a taxi.
Yeah, we can take a